Election 2024, the traitor versus the grandpa.
Is there a third option?
This is Not My Party. Brought to you by the Bulwark. This week, the fundamental concerns that Americans have about both major presidential candidates were on full display.
This is very concerning.
There was a raving Donald Trump saying he'd let Putin take over a NATO country if they weren't paying up.
If we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, no, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
Why are they cheering?
And then we had a special counsel report that described Joe Biden as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
Yikes!
That split screen defines the choice in front of us. Dictator-loving maniac or kindly elderly man who's lost a step.
Both those options suck.
On the one hand, not the best options. On the other, kind of an easy choice, no? If you've been watching too much Tucker and your answer to that question is, I don't know, Tim, why should we care so much about NATO anyway?
You don't know nothing about NATO? I don't know nothing about NATO.
America first! Then, well, pull up a chair real quick. Let's have a history lesson. For 75 years, NATO has met the goal set out by its first Secretary General. Keep the Soviet Union out, the Americans in, and the Germans down. Sorry, Olaf.
I thought we were friends.
And it's worked. The combined power of the US and Europe, which has maintained the West's liberal order, is how we have avoided the horrible wars of the 20th century and relegated our foes to one-off terrorist attacks. Now, Trump is threatening that stable alliance, and he's doing so at a time that Russia is demonstrating they're just crazy enough to encroach on NATO territory in order to follow through on Putin's pan-Russian vision of conquest.
That sounds pretty bad when said out loud.
Trump's more traditionally conservative fanboys, like Marco Rubio, insist we shouldn't take him literally.
He doesn't talk like a traditional politician. We've already been through this now. You'd think people had figured it out by now.
I haven't figured that out yet.
But here's the problem. We know we need to take Trump literally, because right now he seems perfectly happy to let Putin take Ukraine. What makes you think he would change his mind if it was some random NATO country he's never heard of, like Estonia or Latvia? All right, maybe he's heard of their models.
He looks like a sex offender.
What's more, his pro-Putin, anti-NATO message is infecting the whole GOP. Here's Sarah Palin with an oh-so-hilarious meme about how Putin owned and killed the mainstream media. Not sure if she realizes that this meme is literally true.
Just like hundreds of dead journalists, I'm not afraid of Vladimir Putin.
And in the Senate this week, 22 good Republicans voted to continue sending aid to Ukraine, but that's down from 39 just 2 years ago. GOP senators under the age of 55 opposed the aid, which tells you what direction the party is moving.
Have fun with the war.
So when it comes to NATO, the Trump threat is a twofer. He's a simp for Putin, and he's contaminating half the country against our actual friends who have been reliable allies for 75 years.
Short answer, World War III.
As for the special counsel report on Biden, Democrats wanted to minimize its importance and attack the special counsel Robert Hur.
The comments that were made by that prosecutor, gratuitous, inaccurate, and inappropriate.
Lies! Lies and slander!
While they may have a point that it was kind of janky to include, it doesn't change the fact that he wrote what we all see. Biden looks and sounds feeble. His record is actually quite good, but optics matter in politics, especially for the commander-in-chief.
What year is it?
So for us to avoid the maniacal, Putin-loving lapdog, the sitting president needs to demonstrate to the world that he has the vigor for the job. This press conference, pointing out Trump's flaws on foreign policy, was a good start.
A former president of the United States saying that. The whole world heard it. No other president in our history has ever bowed down to a Russian dictator. I never will.
But there needs to be much more of that and fewer performances that feel like this.
Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey?
Mama Kelsey. I understand she makes great chocolate chip cookies.
I think about things like that all the time.
We'll see you next week for more Not My Party.